Demons in the ancient Near East have been misunderstood and maligned. To begin with, in none of the languages of the ancient Near East, including Hebrew, is there a word equivalent to the English demon. The word demon is derived from the Greek words meaning God, divine being, spirit. The Hebrew Bible blurs the division between supernatural beings, foreign gods, and idols. Not until post-exilic intertestamental literature, with the concept of the devil, did the word begin to display the meaning evil, in league with the devil, and take on an entirely negative connotation. Christian writers use it almost exclusively in this later sense. Our modern view is that demons are intrinsically evil and angels are intrinsically good. But the ancient Near East did not have this dichotomy. In essence, an ancient Near Eastern demon is a supernatural being, other than a god, that intervenes in the physical world. They appear as a group or as individuals. Some have a name and personal ways of action. They are either benevolent and helpful, that is apotropaic, healing, protective, malevolent and harmful, causing illness, death, disaster, or neutral, occasionally benevolent and occasionally malevolent. Thus, demons in the ancient Near East are far more complicated and interesting than a one-sided opposition between good and evil. This paper examines demons in the Hebrew Bible through the spectrum of other ancient Near Eastern demons and their respective roles in health and disability, as it was understood at the time. Because the modern concept of demons and angels did not exist during the biblical period, I shall use the term demon for both benevolent and malevolent lesser spirits. Iconography provides insight into the concept of demons in the ancient Near East. For example, the image of Lamassu, a Mesopotamian human-headed winged benevolent demon, is found also in the Levant as the Hebrew demon Shed. Benevolent demons, referred to in modern terminology as angels, are easy to accept. They perform a variety of tasks. For example, they serve as messengers, announce birth, give reassurances, change or guide a person's actions, and protect individuals and the nation of Israel. Two of the better known are Michael and Gabriel. Malevolent demons live in deserts and ruins. They inflict sickness. They trouble minds and are deceptive. One of the more difficult problems of the Hebrew Bible are its references to malevolent demons who destroy according to their deity's wishes. There are even benevolent demons who become malevolent and act as a deity's agents for punishment. For example, the destroyers of Sodom or Balaam narrative. Theologians may find it difficult to explain an Israelite deity who can, and who did, dispatch evil celestial beings. But biblical scholars can be free of these limitations, since there is an intellectual relationship between biblical studies and other ancient Near East studies. All of them had deities with a retinue of underlings to achieve their goals. The identification of specific gods and other celestial creatures in other ancient Near Eastern literature and art has implications for our understanding of their biblical equivalents, both malevolent and benevolent. As an aside, cherubim are misunderstood demons. Unlike the round-faced, where are they? Yeah, these ones. Unlike the round-faced infants known as cherubim in Western art, the Hebrew Bible cherub is a fierce winged celestial being, which appears in several places. While the descriptions of the cherubim vary, generally, they are either two-winged creatures or four-winged creatures. Ezekiel's description of the cherubim guarding the biblical garden of the god is the most graphic. They had the figures of human beings. Each had 4 faces, and each of them had 4 wings. The legs of each were fused into a single rigid leg, and the feet of each were like a single calf's hoof, and their sparkle was like the luster of burnished bronze. They had human hands below the wings. The 4 of them had their faces and the wings on their 4 sides. Each one's wings touched those of the other. They did not turn when they moved. Each could move in the direction of any of its faces. Each of them had a human face. Each of the 4 had the face of a lion on the right. Each of the 4 had the face of an ox on the left. Each of the 4 had the face of an eagle. They were separated. Above, each had 2 touching those of the others, while the other 2 covered its body. Ezekiel's description as the malevolent demon guardian of the biblical garden of the gods seems just as fearsome as the other ancient Near Eastern demons, for example, Mesopotamian scorpion. Back here, yeah. In both cases, the purpose is to kill humans who interfere with the deity's solitude, quite dissimilar to the round-faced infant known as cherubim in Western art. Most ancient Near Eastern demons, biblical and otherwise, have fallen into obscurity. Mighty creatures like the Assyrian Humbaba had a mouth of fire and breath of death. Amulets with images of these demons were worn despite of their frightening appearance. For example, a Humbaba amulet or a Pazuzu amulet or a Sumerian amulet. Why would anyone want a warm and intimate relationship with such hideous images as this one or these ones? Or you can wear that one if you like. To answer this question, I want to start with the relationship between supernatural creatures and humans. Demons could be appeased with offerings and incantations, and even directed against each other by a god or a human skilled practitioner of magic. Although there are numerous examples of both benevolent and malevolent demons affecting health and healing in the ancient Near East, I want to give further emphasis to fertility and reproduction. Fertility was a major concern throughout ancient Near East. Some of the most elaborate representations of females in the art of the ancient Near East are images of divine female figures, both goddesses and demons, associated with fertility and procreation, including ancient Israel. Several Ugaritic tablets describe the activities of the gods, goddesses, and demons of the Canaanite pantheon who control the fertility of humans as well as of the earth, as they were found in domestic contexts discovered at Tel El-Chish, the major fortified center in Judah. They point to popular cults that coexisted with monotheistic Judaism, with their attendant clay fertility plagues. A significant number of nude figurines shown supporting their breasts in their hands were produced in great numbers in the Kingdom of Judah around the 8th and 7th century before Common Era, and were discovered as well. Certainly, outside influences are evident in the religion of ancient Israel and Judah at this time, and Syrian cults focusing on the worship of Asherah's on Asherah fertility demons worship may have been an influence. God's command to be fruitful and multiply was a facet of virtually every aspect of life in ancient Israel, and his use of opening wombs is similar in many respects to that of any other ancient Near Eastern thought. An interesting Israelite example of a benevolent and a malevolent demon fighting each other over procreation is the book of Tobit. Tobit, a poor, blind, pious man, wants to marry wealthy Sarah, who had been married 7 times, but is still virgin. The evil demon Asmodeus killed each of her bridegrooms just before the consummation of the marriage. In the spirit of full disclosure, Sarah's father, Raguel, warned Tobit about Sarah's dubious marital history. Before the wedding, a benevolent demon, Raphael, instructed Tobit to catch a fish, cut it open, save the gall, heart, and liver, and burn them in the presence of the woman. Asmodeus would flee, never to return. Undaunted, Tobit had Raguel draw up a marriage contract. Tobit built a fire in the bedroom and added incense. Tobit's sight was returned, the marriage was consummated. Sarah and Tobias had 7 sons, and everyone lived happily ever after. The malevolent demon was banished by the benevolent demon, and fertility was assured. Once a woman became pregnant, there was a fear of death in childbirth, mother and or infant. As a result, amulets were carried, used in necklaces, bracelets, or rings to ensure health and safety in childbirth. For example, the Akkadian Lamashtu, a winged female demon with broad and far-ranging destructive powers, was feared by pregnant women, and Pazuzu amulets were a shield against her. Texts found in Impur for midwives contain incantations and magic treatments to help a woman having difficulty in childbirth. And in ancient Israel, mothers and children were surrounded by various charms and talismans from the moment of birth until the circumcision, most of which were to guard them against evil female demons. Additionally, the new mother was isolated from the rest of the community since she generated anxiety, as did all aspects of fertility and reproduction in the ancient world. Were the mother and child feared because of their possible association with malevolent demon? When the baby was born, concern for the welfare of the mother and child against malevolent demons continued. There are many ancient Near Eastern texts with incantations and spells against malevolent demons who were thought to kill newborn children and afflict their mothers. Ugaritic texts of the 14th to 12th centuries before Common Era describe 2 strangling goddesses. Based on all their new mother purification rituals, in Leviticus 12, it is reasonable to assume that the ancient Israelites experienced similar anxiety, and being pure was the antidote to malevolent demons. The Akkadian Lamashtu's Israelite counterpart is Lilith, listed in Isaiah alongside desert creatures such as jackals, ostriches, owls, wolves, goats, hawks, and snakes. In the Talmud, she is a demon with long hair and wings. Since she is a danger to little children, amulets were hung over the birthing bed or on all 4 walls of the room. One example is this incantation against Lilith. Very relevant. Another is the amulet from Aslantash. It is directed against all female demons presumed to cause the death of infants and children. And it goes, an incantation for the female flying demon. Take these, that is, amulets of this type, and say to the struggling females, the house I enter, you shall not enter, and the courtyard I tread, you shall not tread. An eternal bond has been established for us. To the female demon that flies in the dark chamber, say, pass by, time and again, Lilith. To the robbing slain female, say, go away. Although time does not permit me to explore all of the demons involved in health and healing, I want to mention a few of the better known. A distinctive feature of the ancient Near East, including ancient Israel, is the use of animal images. In the Mesopotamia, dogs were often associated with Gula, a healing demon, and statues of dogs were set up to heal the sick. The ibex and snakes were powerful apotropaic symbols representing virility, fertility. Jewelry or amulets allowed the power of a demon represented by an animal to be a safeguard for humans. For example, serpent-shaped jewelry, amulets, were warned to repel poisonous serpent demons throughout the ancient Near East. So wearing an amulet in the form of a cobra's head would have been considered an effective way to prevent an attack. That Moses would call upon a serpent demon by creating an apotropaic serpent to ward off serpents would have been quite natural to the Israelites who had been living in Egypt and witnessed this use of images. The biblical seraph is described as a flying serpent. Art representing winged serpents dating from the Canaanite period have been found, indicating that the image was well known. The seraphs of Isaiah's vision, like those of the Canaanites, are always standing, just as the four wings of the Canaanite winged serpents represent the four corners of the land. The winged seraphs chant, his presence fills all the earth. The Canaanite winged serpents belch fire, the smoke consuming their enemies, and the seraphs' repetition of holy, holy, holy shakes the temple, filling it with smoke. The Canaanite winged serpents have hands, legs, and a human face, as do the seraphs of Isaiah's vision. And a seraph becoming the agent of healing and purification for Isaiah, a link between the snake seraph of Isaiah and the therapeutic snake seraph of Moses. Back to benevolent demons in the Hebrew Bible. Most of the benevolent demons are nameless and appear on earth in human form. They serve as envoys of the deity and deliver his decrees. Occasionally, they state that they are sent by God, but most often they don't. Only two benevolent demons have proper names, Gabriel and Michael. And each nation has a benevolent demon whose actions and destinies are bound up with those of his nation. In sum, demons in the ancient Near East are far more complicated and interesting than a one-sided opposition between good and evil. Throughout the Near East, it was believed that demons influenced health and healing, as well as illness and death. Demons could act capriciously, but generally at the whim of a deity. Amulets, incantations, and rituals were used to ask benevolent demons for their assistance, as well as to ward off malevolent demons. The bottom line, however, humans were relatively powerless. Demons were demonic, for better or for worse. Thank you.